Here are the best plus EV slips for PrizePicks for NFL Sunday. Welcome to Juice Bets. My name is Trevor. NFL football is back. That means that we've got tons and tons of picks and value to find. Plus EV betting, as sharp sports bettors, it's up to us to find that value. And obviously we have different tools and processes that will help us with that. But at the end of the day, we need to put the time into it and really grind this out and make sure that we are capturing as much value as we can and taking advantage of, our big edge in the market, which is obviously plus EV sports betting. So it's super exciting that NFL's back because that means we've got tons more volume. Obviously, leading up to Sunday, there's bets, tons of bets flying back and forth. And with PrizePicks, we can find, tons of different slips throughout the week, leading up to that Sunday where we can get, a nice edge on the market, nice value. And right now, I just looked at the Odds Jam Optimizer and the DG Fantasy Optimizer as well, and both of them have really nice plays right now for PrizePicks, parlay play, underdog, whatever it may be. We're going to start off with PrizePicks here and really dive into it, make some slips, go through my process, and hopefully we can get some winners here today. Produce some nice 10x slips on PrizePicks. So without further ado, make sure you guys like this video, subscribe if you are new, and also check out the link in the description below, VIP Discord. We send all of our plus EV bets there. So it's by far the easiest way to tail these plus EV bets if you're busy on a Sunday or even throughout the week when you're working and you don't have time to actually grind this out like I'm talking about. We send those bets, you just click a link. It goes straight to your phone and you can place those bets. So link down below for a free trial for a week. Okay, let's get into these picks here. So before we actually go into building out these slips using these optimizers, DG Fantasy and Odds Jam, I want to go into the actual reasoning, the thesis behind why these plays are plus EV, how it works, why it's so profitable. And then we can actually go into building the slips. So if you understand plus EV betting, you don't need to be told again and again what it is. You can use the timestamps in the description, or you can kind of just slide the YouTube slider or whatever to get to later in the video when we actually build out these slips. But the plus EV thesis is basically that we are finding line discrepancies, right? So a line that is higher or lower than what the market is pricing it at, or we are getting paid out on these fixed payout platforms, PrizePicks, Parlay Play, Underdog, all of those that pay you out a fixed amount. We're being paid out more than we should based on the odds, right? So let's look at PrizePicks, for instance, and let's go to the Odds Jam Optimizer here. So PrizePicks per leg pays us out as if each play is priced at minus 119 odds, right? So a little bit of juice, a little bit favored kind of thing, but around even money, right? Pretty common payout structure here, minus 119. Now, what we want to do as plus EV bettors is find either a line discrepancy, right, where we're getting a 6, right? We're taking over 6 for Keenan Allen. And on these other platforms, Pinnacle, FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars, MGM, all these guys here, we want to look at what they are pricing this at, right? And see if we can find some value. And so, for instance, with this Keenan Allen play over 6 receptions, as you can see on Pinnacle, FanDuel, all these guys here, he's actually priced at 6.5 for his receptions. Obviously, on Pinnacle, it's at plus money, but FanDuel, DraftKings plus money, Caesars is minus 110, same with FanDuel. So I would say that Keenan Allen's line is priced at 6.5 even money on the sharpest sports books in the world, right? If we're averaging them out. Now, on PrizePicks, we get him at 6. So that means that we can get him at a half point down. So we're catching a half point, right? We're getting much more value for our pick. And that also means that the odds will change, the implied odds on the bet, right? Because we're getting him at 6 at minus 119 in this PrizePicks slip. But if we were to get him at 6 on, let's say, FanDuel, well, 6.5 is minus 108. That means that his 6 is probably closer to minus 140, minus 150, right? So that means that if we take the average of these, the sharpest sports books and what they're pricing it at, right? And then basically assume and look at, okay, do some half point analysis, right? The half point change between 6 and 6.5. If we were to assume that, okay, this 6 is on these other platforms, what odds would we get, right? And that's where this number comes in. This is the fair odds. This is what OddsJam is pricing this line at, as if it was on these other sports books, getting priced at some odds, the implied odds, the fair odds behind this number. And obviously, if we're getting this number here at minus 136, well, that's a pretty significant favorite. And PrizePicks is paying us out as if it's minus 119. And that's where we find the value, right? So we basically just want to find plays, right? Legs, props within these slips that are significantly favored, or at least favored more than minus 119. And that is a plus EV slip, right? So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. At the end of the day, we're just trying to find either mispriced lines, right? Mispriced odds, mispriced whatever it may be, discrepancies. We're trying to look around and find when we're getting good value, right? So let's do that. Let's look at this right now. We're looking at PrizePicks. Let's refresh it first, and we'll see what we can find for NFL Sunday here. So Tua Tagovailoa, over 26 or over 262.5 passing and rushing yards. That's an interesting prop. Now, the reason why this is saying that it's a plus EV slip is because on Thrive Fantasy, he's priced at 275, right? And then also on Jock Market, he's priced at the same, right? So that doesn't really mean a whole lot for us. On DraftKings, he's priced at minus 115. So OddsJam might pull this line and say, okay, well, he's at 262, right? But we're getting, but on Thrive, he's at 275.5. However, some people might think, okay, great play, discrepancy, boom, we're done. However, PrizePicks is a sharper book than Thrive. PrizePicks has more money going into their algorithm. They bump lines faster. They are a better, more sharper platform than Thrive, and therefore, just because Thrive is higher than the PrizePicks line does not mean we should take it on PrizePicks. If anything, this means we should take this on Thrive, right? So we will continue looking. The Keenan Allen one, like I had mentioned before, absolutely this is a great play. So let's look for Keenan Allen and put him into our first slip over 6 receptions. You know, we're getting him at at a significant discount, 6 instead of 6.5. And it's a similar thing for Deebo Samuel here, right? Over 4 receptions, 4.5 at about even money in all these other sports books. Well, if we can get him at 4, that's going to be a significantly favored play. And, we can put him in this slip pretty comfortably here. So let's put in Deebo for the over on receptions. Over receptions. Let's continue looking here. George Pickens over 3 receptions. Well, let's look at this one. So he's at 3.5 at about, just about plus 110 or so. If we can get him over 3, well, that means we'll push on a 3. So he just needs to get 3 receptions to at least push. And if he gets 4, obviously we win this bet. So we'll put in Pickens as well. And one thing that we want to make sure when we're building these slips on PrizePicks is of any correlation, right? Potential correlation is super important. And so that means, if Keenan Allen is going over on receptions, and we want to, and Tua potentially, if we're taking Keenan Allen over, well, if he goes over, that means Tua is probably throwing a decent amount as well, and so we could take Tua over and potentially, take another receiver like Mike Williams on the Chargers over as well. That gets into correlation. That's for another video, but for right now, we're just going to be looking to make plus EV picks, right? So, here's another example. Tyler Boyd here, under 3 receptions. He's at 3.5 on these other sports books. Now, this is the opposite, right? We're getting actually a worse line, but he is significantly favored at that better line, right? So Tyler Boyd, we're getting him at under 3. He's at 3.5 on the other sports books, priced about minus 175, minus 180, okay? Now, if we get him at 3, well, we get a worse line, but we still get a favored play, right? Because if he's at minus 180 and we go down half a point, well, he's probably going to be about minus 140, minus 130. So we get Tyler Boyd still at a nice line, and so we will put him into the slip as well. Let's put in Boyd. So a lot of receptions, obviously. So we'll take the under on Boyd. A lot of reception totals. Now, Brandon Ayuk, under 4 receptions. A very similar thing to our first play here. He's at about 3. So he's at about even money, just over even money on 3.5. At 4.5, he's at minus 180. So we're getting him at 4 in the middle between even money and minus 180. Let's say it's minus 140. That means we're getting great value compared to the minus 119 implied odds. And obviously, if you were to devig, so take away the tax the sportsbooks take on those odds, minus 140, we would get about minus 124, as you can see here. So Brandon Ayuk, under 4 receptions, will be our last play here to build out a nice slip for NFL Sunday. Brandon Ayuk, under 4. And that is going to be a 5-man slip on PrizePicks. We'll put a 20 on it. And I'm limited on PrizePicks, so let's look for... I'm limited right now. I actually can't place this, but here is the slip. Keenan Allen over receptions, Deebo Samuel over receptions, George Pickens over, Tyler Boyd under, and Ayuk under. So there's our slip for PrizePicks. Hopefully you guys learned something, kind of the process of looking through and finding these bets. And this is our first play on PrizePicks. But that's not it. We're going to continue looking for more plays using OddsJam and using DG Fantasy. So let's look for more. DeAndre Hopkins under 5 receptions. Again, 4.5. He's at about even money, a little over even money. Well, we're getting him at 5. So we're getting that extra half point. Clearly, we can find some value there. So we're going to pull up PrizePicks, and we will put DeAndre Hopkins in. And I'm going to have to remove these other guys because I was unable to actually place a bet. Getting limited on PrizePicks because of how much money I'm making off of them. Definitely hate to see it, but it is what it is. Okay, so yeah, Hopkins under, Donovan Edwards, Michigan, rushing and receiving. He's at 94.5 yards. Well, if we look at this on Underdog and Jock Market, he's at 102, right? 102.5 and 102. So we're clearly getting a line that's less than these other platforms. So obviously, we're going to take his over there. Donovan Edwards, college. And that was a rushing combined. There we go. We'll take that over. Now let's go back and continue looking here. Mike Williams over 4 receptions. His 4.5 is, plus 110 or so. So getting that 4 is going to be nice. Kind of saves us that extra half point, like I've been saying this whole video. So Mike Williams, put him in as well. This is a really interesting thing about building out these NFL slips, leading up to the weekend is, we're going to have tons of open slips that, for instance, on this one, we have a college play in here. And on Saturday, this college play is going to cash, right? And then we'll have an open slip for Sunday. So just keep in mind when you are, placing these bets, manage your bankroll effectively. Go lower unit sizes because there's going to be a lot of volume throughout the week, right? Like on Underdog, I have 50 open slips. On PrizePicks, I've got like tons of open slips right now. So we want to make sure that we are managing the bankroll effectively because when, let's say on a Saturday morning, you look on the OddsJam or DG Fantasy plus EV tools, the optimizers, and you see a bunch of value, but you don't have any bankroll left because it's all tied up, you want to make sure that you're managing it properly, right? Okay, Gerald Everett under 3.5 receptions. This one is easy to understand. Under 3.5 receptions, well, on Pinnacle, he's at minus 159. At FanDuel, he's at minus 166. On DraftKings, minus 135. Clearly very favored to go under this total, so obviously we're going to put him in the slip because we're being paid out as if it's minus 119. So we will put Everett in. Everett under. Also, this is nice correlation, like I had mentioned, right? Everett under, Mike Williams over, right? There's only so many catches to go around. Obviously, On the Chargers, you got Keenan Allen as well. Austin Eckler getting a bunch of catches. They have a plethora of other guys, new players like Johnston, right? So there's going to be potentially a lot of catches to go around in this game because it is a high total. However, there's only so many, right? And so if you're taking one guy over, it is okay to take the other guy under because there will only be so many catches. So let's keep looking. Evan Ingram over 4 receptions. This is a kind of a similar to what we've been looking at. We'll just keep looking down a little bit. Okay, so we'll take that Ingram over. And the reason why we like this play is at 4.5, he's at even money, right? And then at 3.5, he's at minus 170. So right in the middle there, minus 135 or so for Ingram. And we can take that over pretty comfortably. So let's find Ingram and take his over receptions. And that will be our second 5-man NFL slip on PrizePicks. We do have a college play here, but it is good value. So Hopkins under 5 receptions, Donovan Edwards over rushing and receiving yards, Mike Williams more than 4 receptions, Everett under 3.5, and Ingram over 4 receptions. That will be our second and final slip on PrizePicks. Let me know if you guys are able to tail these down below. Make sure you are not taking bumps. So if Everett is at a 4, or if Everett's at a 3 when you come to take his under, do not take it. The value is gone, right? If Mike Williams is at 4.5, do not take it. The value is gone. So if you want to, the best thing that you could do is if there are some bumps, just combine these slips together, right? And you should be good to go. So there it is. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. That's what PrizePicks can do. That's what OddsJam and DG Fantasy has to offer. Actually, quickly before I go, let's look at DG Fantasy just to see kind of what this looks like and what kind of value we can find on DG. As you can see, Donovan Edwards play here over 94.5 is on DG as well, not just on OddsJam. Oh, we're just reloading here. And we can see some more. So there's Braxton Berrios play as well, under 18.5 receiving yards. The reason why we like this play is because at 14.5, he's at minus 120 on these other platforms, right? On DraftKings, MGM, FanDuel, Caesars, he's at minus 115, minus 120 at 14.5 yards. So if we're getting him at 18.5, well, that means he's probably averaging at about minus 143. So that's another really good play. If you did find that some of them bumped on you, you could look to see Braxton Berrios at 18.5 and take his under receiving yards. Anyways, make sure you guys like this video, subscribe for more just like this, and we'll see you on NFL Sunday.